Hey folks, it's Necro Black here. Gregory Necro Black. This is a Necro Black vlog, but this is also something to reflect on. 2014 is about to come to a close. About to come to a close on Wednesday, I believe. Thursday. I'll find out right now. I'll tell you right now. I think Wednesday is actually the actual last day. Yeah, I think it is. Okay. I'm not trying to set up a new event. Yeah, Wednesday's the last day. See? The first is Thursday. Um, this year has taught me a whole mess of things. Some good, some bad. A lot more bad than good. But I'm still here, and that's a part of life. That's what life's all about. Growing up, growing older, and learning. "2014 taught me things that I should have already known in life, but apparently I needed to be slapped in the face with it. For example, 2014 taught me that if there's any kind of people that you can avoid, it's toxic people. And unfortunately, sometimes those who are the toxic people aren't exactly the ones who show themselves to be the toxic people. They're the ones that confide in you, and you confide in them, telling them your personal private thoughts, being there for them as good friends, talking with them, laughing with them, drinking with them, partying with them, thinking that you have a kindred spirit, but at the end of the day you find out you actually don't. What you have is someone that's been stealing from you. Not necessarily stealing physical things, but stealing your time, stealing your energy, stealing your goodwill, your good nature. Those are the kind of people that you need to avoid. And unfortunately, sometimes those people just don't present themselves as that. Those people will present themselves as your best friend, as family. But at the end of the day, they're draining you. And if you do something that they don't like, they'll turn their back on you in a heartbeat, even if you won't turn your back on them. 2014 taught me that. 2014 also taught me that the most important people you're ever going to have are family. And whether you're related to them by blood or not, if they're family to you, they're family for life. And they're always going to be there for you. They're always going to be there to protect, well, in essence, to protect you, to stand by you, to have your back. That's what I mean by protect, to have your back or whatever. But they're also there to help to keep you strong mentally, emotionally. And those are people that you can't take for granted. Those are one in a million. And even if you have more than one person that's one in a million, consider yourself blessed. Because in an instant, like life, that friendship can end. If you don't nurture that friendship, if you don't try to build upon that friendship falls apart. That friendship will wind up being hollow. Random to have a box next to me, right? Well, it's because I have the tablet leaned up against the box, or on top of the box. So, it's not that random. 2014, this also taught me that anywhere you go in this world, you gotta have a thick skin. Because you're always gonna have people that are gonna say things, do things that you're not gonna like, that you're not gonna agree with, and that might actually cost you a whole lot. But if you don't develop a thick skin and learn to ignore it, learn to get past it, or work towards proving it wrong, whatever negative and derogatory things are said about you, you're never going to go anywhere. I've had a lot of derogatory things said about me, especially online. As far as me being a wrestler, as far as a lot of things. Hell, I haven't really done much with a lot of things, and part of that is my fault, because I let things just happen. Does that mean that I give up on anything? No. I can't just let things go like that. That's just not me. So I work towards bettering myself. And there were times where I tried to better myself during the year. 2014 taught me that if you don't pay attention to certain things, you just let things slip by, it's going to bite you in the ass at the end of it. Right now, health-wise, I'm doing my worst. Health-wise, I'm doing horrible. And I have no one else to blame but myself. Well, I have certain other factors to blame, but at the end of the day, it still all comes back to me. And you know what? New year, new clean slate. I get to start over. I get to do what I need to do. I get to try and accomplish the things that I wanted to accomplish. And if that means I gotta ignore certain other things that I want to accomplish to do so, I'm gonna do that. Because if it's not meant for me, then it's not meant for me. But if it is, and I can do it, then you better believe that I'm gonna do it. 2014 taught me also that, and this goes back to the toxic thing, not everyone is your friend. Not everyone cares about what you're doing. Not everyone really gives a damn about you. They say that they do. And they may joke around with you, and they may, crack a couple of jokes here and there. But at the end of the day, they don't give a damn about you. The only ones that really do are the ones that show that they really do care about you. And those are the friendships that I told you you should cherish. Those are the ones that should practically be family to you. 2014 taught me that while a lot of things are going out of style, like good taste and common sense and good fashion, a lot of other things will come into play only because of the fact that we're in a cycle. A constant cycle. Constant flowing cycle. And if we don't, pay attention to that cycle, if we don't actually acknowledge that cycle, we're going to get left in the dust. And when it comes time for us to actually get back into the thick of things, we're going to be so far behind that it's really not going to even be worth trying to get back into step with things. — 2014 has taught me a lot of things. Another thing that it's taught me is that certain things that shouldn't be fashionable, shouldn't be accepted, should have gone away by now. Hasn't. Things like racism, classism, which, basically prejudice against certain classes. Prejudice, bias, shaming, questioning of our rights, abuse of power, lack of accountability. These things became fashionable in 2014, proving that they never really went away. You can say what you want, but when those who are supposed to uphold the law get away with things that they're supposed to fight against, when they fight against being held accountable for certain things and try to shame anyone who says they should be held accountable, that's travesty. That's horrible. It's terrible. When you look at the unfairness as far as certain things that happen to people living in certain areas, people living in certain situations, people of certain ethnicities, it's sad. I have been having a lot of discussions lately, mostly on Facebook and other social media platforms, where people have been having issues with, people have been taking issue with certain things that I've been saying as far as in regards to police accountability. And it's mostly been police officers that have had an issue with it, and police supporters that have had an issue with it. And I understand why they have an issue with it, because you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not a cop. I'm not going to understand how dangerous the job is. But what they fail to understand is that your job is to hold accountable those who commit crimes, those who break the law, those who do things to hurt and harm other people and the public. Just because you wear a badge, just because you've been given rights to uphold these laws, which, by the way, everyone is accountable for, including you. Why is it an issue that we ask for you to be held accountable? You know, that's why those protests are going on. And people say, oh, well, you're supporting criminals, you're supporting criminals, you're supporting criminals. And saying that police shouldn't be held accountable for their actions isn't supporting criminals or criminal activity. You know, if I was a police officer, I wouldn't want to be lumped together with the guys that bring shame to the badge. That's just me. And I know that there's a lot of individuals that might look at me and say, oh, well, they don't bring shame to the badge. They were just doing their jobs. People, 2 officers got away with murder that the mainstream media followed. These 2 cases. There are probably hundreds more cases in which officers abuse their power. Does this mean that every cop does this? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know, I applaud those that actually are brave enough to put on a uniform and go outside and risk their lives to basically protect the general public. They don't have to do that. They take the initiative to do so. And I have a lot of respect for those who do that. But I have a lot of respect for those who do that and know there's nothing wrong with them being held accountable for their actions. What's wrong with that? You know what's wrong with that picture? Nothing. You know what's wrong with the picture of officers having an issue with people asking for police to be held accountable? Everything. Absolutely everything. Hell, you know, I can't tell you about how many times that I've had run-ins with the law where I did nothing, but I had a run-in with them. And granted, I may never have been arrested, but I've gotten tickets. Certainly, I've gotten tickets for things that I could have easily just avoided doing, which is just walking through a certain area at night when I shouldn't have been in that area. But, you know, I was taking a shortcut. But I've never sold drugs, I've never killed anyone, I've never raped anyone, I've never beat anyone up, I've never robbed a store, none of that stuff. Short of those tickets of going in, you know, short of that, does that make me a criminal? I pay my taxes, held down a job, but because I'm asking for police officers to have the same accountability as myself or anyone else out in the street, that makes me a criminal? That makes me illiterate? That makes me an idiot? That makes me all of these things? No. It makes me no more of a problem than the people who are apologizing for the police. As a matter of fact, it makes me less of a problem. And it makes every person that is going out there, out in those streets and protesting, less of a problem. But at the same time, there are people that make those protesters look bad. Like the gentleman who killed those 2 officers. Like those people who decided it was a great idea to go looting when they should have been protesting peacefully. Yes, if you are watching this video and you did that, I am talking about you. If you are a person that is out there protesting and actually trying to make a change, then you know I'm not talking about you. But I digress. One thing that does have to change is policy. The only way policy can change is if society decides it wants to change with it. And no, I'm not asking for a police state. No, God, no. Jesus Christ, no. I don't want to get tickets for jaywalking. Okay? I don't want to be harassed every single day. No. By society changing, I mean we can't let things like this go on. We need for people to be held accountable for their actions. And if the public can be held accountable for their actions, so can the people that are supposed to enforce the laws that break the laws. Like I said before, like I said earlier, if I were a cop, I wouldn't want to be lumped in with the guys that are making the badge look bad. You know? Damn, I'm taking this much longer to talk about when I was talking about 2014. But I'm gonna end it at this. Well, this part anyway. People, we have to come to a peaceful resolve. There's a long road ahead of us. And I'm talking about for both sides. There's a long road ahead of us before we can find some kind of peaceful resolve. But you know what? I believe that we can make that. And I think after all the tragedies that have gone on, we have a common ground. And I think it's about time that we sit at the table and talk about things and get this thing hashed out and get peace back on back for everyone. But understand this, and this is something else that I'm going to say. What happened the other day at the funeral for one of the officers, when all the police officers and all emergency personnel decided they wanted to turn their back on the mayor, that took a few steps back from actually trying to make peace. Don't do that. If you truly want the support of the mayor, support your mayor. Sorry, but hate to sound like a government tool, but you know that's just how that is. Because I know I damn sure wouldn't support someone that wouldn't want to show support to me or wouldn't want to respect me. So that's just me. But getting back to the 2014 thing. 2014 taught me a lot of things. It taught me, it helped me grow as a person. And I've lost and I've gained. Mostly gained weight. Right here. See this? See this right here? Yeah, I've mostly gained weight. You know, I'm a chunky boy. See? I is a chunky boy. But for all the crash and burns that I've had this year, I wouldn't take any of them back. I'd do them all over again. Because you know what? If I didn't go through the experiences that I went through this year, I wouldn't have grown as a person. And that's the one thing that life is. Life is the best teacher in the world and the worst teacher in the world. Because of the fact that life will give you the answer and it'll be staring you right in the face. But life won't go, there it is. Life will let you dance around the solution before you actually find the solution. But when it comes to teaching you a lesson, oh man, life will teach you a lesson. 2014 didn't teach me that lesson. Life taught me that lesson. But 2014 was full of lessons like that. And you know what? I would be hard pressed not to believe that 2015 might just have more lessons for me. But I think, and this is me being very hopeful, that with those lessons, there'll be a hell of a lot more successes. This is me being hopeful. And you know what? If I gotta work 15, 20 times harder than I've ever had in my life to get these successes, trust and believe that I will. Because I'm not going to let anything stop me. And I'm sure no one else would let anything stop them from trying to reach their goals. So folks, I'm going to leave you off with this. 2014, one hell of a year. But not the last year. But in a couple of days, it will be last year. So these next couple of days, if you've done nothing else for yourself in 2014, try to do at least one good thing. Try to, end this year out with a bang. Because the only ones that can really do that for you is you. So until next year, ladies and gentlemen. Till next year. This is the Beastly One, the F66 Party Animal, and PF's favorite luchador. And I'm here to wish you, even though it's kind of late, Merry Christmas, a very happy, healthy, and safe New Year. And may everything that you work towards, everything that you set your eyes on and set your heart on, come true for all of you. Till next year, guys. It's been fun. It's been real. Take care. Peace.